A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. The tax collectors and sinners were all drawing near to listen to Jesus. But the Pharisees and scribes began to complain, saying, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." So Jesus addressed this parable to them. "What man among you, having 100 sheep, and losing one of them, would not leave the 99 in the desert, and go after the lost one until he finds it? And when he does find it, he sets it on his shoulders with great joy. And upon his arrival home, he calls together his friends and neighbors, and says to them, 'Rejoice with me, because I have found my lost sheep.' I tell you, in just the same way, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous people who have no need of repentance. Or what woman, having 10 coins and losing one, would not light a lamp and sweep the house, searching carefully until she finds it? And when she does find it, she calls together her friends and neighbors and says to them, 'Rejoice with me, because I have found the coin that I lost.' In just the same way, I tell you, there will be rejoicing among the angels of God over one sinner who repents." The Gospel of the Lord. Who is God for you? Humanly speaking, sometimes we use human ways of loving as an analogy for God's love. Thus, from this analogy, we tend to create our own image of God. Moreover, our experiences of human love can cause distortions in our understanding of God, especially when we encounter sin, pain, tragedy, and the realities of our imperfections. We may mistakenly believe that God's love is like imperfect human love that is selective, arbitrary, and conditional. We tend to humanize God's way of loving, which leads to distorted images of God. For instance, we might see God as a punisher in the Old Testament, as seen in the story of the Great Flood, where he used natural disasters to punish sin. Unconsciously, we allow these distortions to affect how we perceive God. In today's Gospel, as highlighted in the parables, Jesus reveals the true image of God as a loving and merciful God. He teaches us about God's love that transcends human limitation, illustrating how God is merciful towards someone who seeks forgiveness and salvation. God's love can seem as foolish as a shepherd who abandons 99 sheep to save one, or a woman who turns her house upside down to recover a small amount of money. God's love seeks the goodness of the beloved. Later in the passage, it is mentioned that there will be rejoicing among the angels of God over one sinner who repents, illustrating the reality of God's unfathomable and measureless love, which may appear like foolishness to us. Dear Thomasians, humanly speaking, these parables may seem absurd. Mathematically and economically, it seems unwise to leave 99 sheep without guarding shepherd. Likewise, the effort to find a lost coin appears extravagant, as the celebration costs much more than the value of the coin itself. Hence, out of the two parables, we can see that God is truly in love. God loved us first, and that love calls for a free and loving response. Sometimes, we need to experience moments of being lost in the dark to recognize our need for help, guidance, and redemption. In these times, we may realize our dependence on God. Our experiences of sin, pain, tragedy, and imperfection can lead us astray, creating stumbling blocks that hinder our full response to God's love. Nonetheless, as Pope Francis states in his apostolic exhortation, Gaudete et Exsultate, we are called to set our sights higher and allow ourselves to be loved and found by God. Life may be uncertain and filled with unfathomable possibilities, yet God's love encompasses them all. We simply need to turn to Him. Love requires participation, otherwise, it becomes unrequited love. The Catechism of the Catholic Church reminds us that the God who created man out of love also calls him to love, which is the fundamental vocation of every human being. Moreover, we should also be mindful of the things that can separate us from the love of God. The Gospel reminds us that when we discover the mercy and love of God, we will never feel lost. Dear brothers and sisters, our merciful God is continually seeking and is willing to go to great lengths so that we don't feel lost. Perhaps He is waiting for your response. Will you let yourself be found?